Some houses don't simply decay with time. Breath, they wait, silent, watching. And the one I was born in had been waiting just for me. Breath, I came into this world inside that old house. Breath, but even as a little child, its walls felt wrong, like something inside them was awake. Breath, when I was 6 years old. Breath, my father died suddenly in a terrible accident. And from that day on, nothing inside our home felt normal. Breath, the air became colder. Breath, the hallways felt longer. And every night, the silence around me felt less empty and more alive. Breath, then one day, he came. Breath, Rihan, my father's closest friend. A man who entered our broken home, like someone sent to save us. Breath, he
Here,
played games with me for hours.
Okay, it's
Breath
red.
told me strange bedtime
Now
stories.
a blue one.
And somehow, whenever
Like
fear
this?
came, he made it disappear.
Perfect.
Breath,
You're a good
every
builder.
night when thunder shook my room. Breath, he sat beside me,
Don't be
whispering
scared.
softly,
I'm
"Don't
here."
be scared. I'm here now." Breath, I trusted him completely.
play again.
Breath, more than anyone.
You're getting good at
Because
this.
after my father
Thanks,
died, Rihan slowly became
Remember what I
everything
taught
I
you.
thought I still had. Breath, but one day, without warning, Breath, he vanished. No goodbye, no explanation, no final smile, like he had never existed. Breath, I kept
Where is
asking
Rihan?
my mother where he went. Breath, but every single time,
Don't
her
you
face
dare
changed
stop
and her
me!
answers became colder. Breath, until one
Never
night,
say his name
she snapped in terrifying anger. Breath screaming, "Never say his name again." And that was when true fear began. Breath, after that, Breath, the house felt worse, heavier, like even hearing his name had awakened something buried deep inside those walls. Breath, years passed slowly. Breath, and by the time I turned 18, my mother had remarried, moved away, and left me there, alone. Breath, that house became mine. Breath, or maybe I became its prisoner, with only one loyal soul beside me. My dog, Sheru. Breath, Sheru never left my side. Breath, except on that night. The night everything hidden beneath that house finally came back. Breath, I woke suddenly from deep sleep. Breath, heart pounding violently, like some unseen hand had shaken my soul awake. Breath, my room was freezing cold. Breath, colder than winter. And when I looked at the clock, glowing red, it read exactly 2:33 a.m. Breath, at first, I thought it was nothing. Breath, until I noticed Cheru was gone, and the silence in my room felt wrong. Breath, I searched the corners. Breath, checked under my bed, opened my door slowly, but Cheru wasn't there. Only darkness. Breath, then I heard it downstairs. Breath, the faint sound of claws against old wooden floors, followed by silence. Breath, I followed the sound carefully. Breath, down the creaking staircase, every step colder than the last. Breath, and there he was. Breath, Sheru, standing completely still, frozen before the basement door, like stone. Breath, he wasn't barking. Breath wasn't growling. He just stared directly into the darkness below, like he saw someone. Breath, my hand trembled badly. Breath, as I reached for the basement doorknob, feeling a fear I had never known before. Breath, the door opened slowly. Breath, with a long painful creak, revealing darkness so thick it felt almost alive. Breath, no light, no movement. Breath, only blackness, stretching downward, and air so heavy it felt impossible to breathe. Breath, I called out softly, "Is anyone there?" Breath, but my own voice sounded weak, swallowed instantly by silence. Breath, then, from somewhere deep below. Breath, I heard breathing, slow, human, unnatural. Breath, it wasn't mine. Breath, and it wasn't Shiris. This was someone else, hidden beneath my home. Breath, and then,
Mom?
breath through the darkness,
there, please.
came
I
a
need
whisper,
you.
broken and low. You
Hello?
came.
What's wrong?
Breath. Every part of me froze instantly. Breath, because I knew that voice, even after all those years. Breath, it was Rihan. Breath,
to
the
tell
man
you
who
something.
vanished. The man my mother forbade me to
not
name.
what happened.
Breath, I wanted to
Rihan
run.
is dead.
Breath, but instead, I stepped down, searching every corner with shaking hands. Breath, there was no one there. Breath, nothing
escape
visible.
this.
Only shadows, dust, and the horrible feeling I wasn't alone. Breath, it
You
felt
can't
like
hide
someone
from
had
me!
just moved. Breath,
Ah,
inches away from me,
stars.
retreating back into darkness.
Lies.
Breath, I ran upstairs. Breath, nearly slipping. Grabbed my phone and called my mother immediately. Breath, MOM, I whispered, barely breathing. I heard Rihan in the basement. Breath, for several seconds. Breath, she said nothing. And somehow, her silence terrified me more than the voice. Breath, then finally, in a broken whisper, she said, Rihan's dead. Breath, my entire body went numb. Breath, because dead men shouldn't speak from beneath your house. Breath, I could barely breathe. Breath, my mother's voice trembled like she was reliving something she buried long ago. Something monstrous. Breath, she refused to explain fully that night. Breath only repeated, "Stay out of the basement, please," before hanging up. Breath, but sleep never came. Breath, because once you hear a dead man whisper your name, silence becomes impossible.
We have to know what's
Breath,
down there,
the next night. Breath, I stayed awake, sitting
close,
upright
the
in
truth is
bed,
waiting.
Sherry beside me, waiting. Breath, every sound felt louder. Breath, the ticking clock. The wind outside. Even my own heartbeat sounded wrong. Breath, then slowly. Breath, I looked toward the glowing red clock again, and my blood froze. 2:33 a.m. Breath, at that exact moment. Breath, Sherry stood up, ears back, teeth exposed, staring at my bedroom door. Breath, I listened carefully. Breath, expecting basement sounds again, but this time, the whisper came from upstairs. Breath, why did you leave me? Breath, the voice said, directly outside my bedroom. Low, broken, furious. Breath, Sherry exploded into violent barking. Breath, louder than I'd ever heard before, but beneath it, I heard footsteps. Breath, slow, deliberate, dragging footsteps. Breath, moving across the hallway floor, toward my door. Breath, I wanted to scream. Breath, but fear pinned me down, like invisible
Who's
hands
there?
were
Show
holding me
yourself!
still. Breath, then my doorknob moved.
No, stay
Breath,
back.
just slightly at first. A tiny metallic twitch. Breath, click. Breath,
found
click.
the ring.
Breath, click. The sound echoed through my skull, as if something outside was learning how to enter. Breath, the door began
couldn't stop
shaking.
it, Ray.
Breath, not violently,
They
but
stopped the
slowly,
fall, but
carefully,
my-
like whoever stood
light
there
flickering,
was
it saw
patient.
everything.
Breath, then it started
never
opening,
listen.
inch by inch. Breath, revealing only darkness,
You're
darker
scaring
than the
me.
hall itself.
Scaring-
Breath, Shira's barking suddenly stopped. Breath replaced by terrified whining. And somehow, that silence was worse. Breath, I stared at the doorway.
please, not like
Breath,
this.
expecting a face,
So
a body,
sorry.
something human. Breath, but there was only shadow. Breath, a shake too dark to understand, standing perfectly still. Breath, then, without a sound. Breath, it was gone. But I knew, with horrifying certainty, it was already inside. Breath, morning finally came. Breath, but sunlight didn't make the house safer. It only revealed how broken it truly was. Breath, I made a choice then. Breath, no more fear. No more whispers. I needed the truth buried below. Breath, so I went back down. Breath, into that basement, carrying only a flashlight. And what little courage remained. Breath, Sheriff followed reluctantly. Breath, whining softly, like he already knew. Some truths should stay buried. Breath, I started moving old boxes. Breath, broken furniture, rotting wood, years of forgotten junk. Breath, dust filled the air. Breath, thick and choking, but beneath it, I noticed something strange. Breath, part of the basement floor looked different. Breath, newer ones, but aged badly, like someone tried to hide it. Breath, I knelt down slowly. Breath, tapping the wood, and heard it, hollow. Breath, my heart pounded so hard. Breath, I thought it would stop, because deep down, I already knew. Breath, I grabbed a crowbar. Breath, forced it under the boards, and pulled. Breath, the wood cracked open. Breath, splintering like bones, revealing a hidden space beneath. Breath, a wave of cold air escaped. Breath, so freezing, it felt like death itself. Exhaling. Breath at first. Breath, I saw nothing. Only dirt, darkness, and old cloth. Breath, then my flashlight shifted. Breath, and I saw them. Bones, human bones. Breath, I stumbled backward in horror. Breath, but my eyes locked on one impossible detail. Breath, a ring. Breath, old, familiar, still resting beside skeletal fingers. Breath, it was Rehan's ring. Breath, the same one he wore every single day. Breath, that's when my mother
You
finally
can't
broke.
escape me
Breath,
down
sobbing
here.
through the phone, confessing everything.
You're
Breath,
mine.
years ago. Breath, Rehan came home drunk, violent, dangerous, and they fought. Breath, during the struggle.
Rehan's
Breath,
ring
he fell,
awakens.
hit his head, and died in that basement.
Soul.
Breath, panicked, terrified. Breath, my mother didn't call for help. She buried him beneath the floor, and buried the truth with him. Breath, for years. Breath, I slept above his grave, while his bones rotted beneath me, waiting, listening. Breath, that night. Breath, after learning everything, I locked my bedroom door, but locks mean nothing to the dead. Breath, I sat shaking in darkness. Breath, Sherry pressed into the corner, and once again, the clock turned red. 2:33 a.m. Breath, then came the sound. Breath, footsteps from the basement stairs, slow, heavy, rising upward. Breath, each step creaked louder. Breath, as though something buried for years was finally climbing free. Breath, Cheryl whimpered helplessly. Breath, too afraid to bark, because animals know when evil is real. Breath, the footsteps reached the hallway. Breath then stopped, directly outside my bedroom. Breath, silence followed. Breath, but not emptiness. I could feel him there, standing, waiting. Breath, then one final whisper slid through the door. You found me. Breath, and the handle slowly began to turn. Breath,